back to another TaxSlayer Gator Bowl CEO message. Just wanted you all to know that things are moving forward. We've got 1 week left in the college football season. Sunday is selection day. Probably know the teams and announce the teams around 5 o'clock on Sunday afternoon if you want to pay attention to that announcement. I'm going to walk you through the boards to figure out where we are and what we think is going to happen. So let's start with the CFP. Last night was generated, and you've got Alabama, Notre Dame, Clemson, and Ohio State in the 4 top slots. Championship games could change that. One wouldn't think that Florida, after the performance against LSU, would beat Alabama, but you never know. It only takes one time for it to happen. Ball bounces funny. Notre Dame and Clemson, the deal there is if Clemson wins, I believe that Notre Dame and Clemson both stay in the top 4. That would be good for the ACC, obviously. They have 2 teams in the Final 4. Ohio State, if they can win their championship game, I believe is the next team in place, and they will stay ahead of Texas A&M. It was interesting that Florida only dropped to 7 and 8 for Georgia. So if you look at that right now, that could change as they get into it next week and they know what it means and they know which bowls it means and how much money it means. Some of this could change with Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's the big question mark. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Cincinnati's a good football team. They're not as good as anybody on this board. Coastal Carolina's a good football team. They're not as good as anybody that's above them. So the reality is I think they probably have them higher than they should be, but that's my personal opinion. I like where Indiana's sitting. Last year it was fun to watch Indiana play here in the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl. That's kind of cool. But I think the population of the New Year's Day 6 will come from these teams. That means the SEC is going to get 4 up. If you come down the board, you see North Carolina sitting at 15, Miami at 18, and NC State at 22. The reason that's important to us is if Clemson and Notre Dame both play in the Final 4, then the Orange Bowl gets to select another ACC team, and they will select more than likely North Carolina. That's a highest ranked team. That's the way they go, and that's what happens. So I think that's really a good bet. That's going to leave on the board Miami and NC State from the ACC that's going to be in our mix. If you look at the rest of the board, you don't see a lot of SEC teams except those teams that are up here. So we are going to probably discount those teams, and we're going to come over here to the SEC board. Alabama, Texas A&M will be gone before it's our turn to pick. Florida and Georgia will be gone. So that's going to leave Missouri, Kentucky, Auburn, Ole Miss in our wheelhouse. LSU has decided not to take their bowl ban for 1 year and do it now. And they're going to try to populate everybody on the list. Again, there is no minimum requirement for wins and losses to play in a bowl game this year. I think our mixture is going to come from either Missouri, Kentucky, Auburn, or Ole Miss. I'm pretty sure that if it stays the way it is right now, obviously Ole Miss has got to play LSU, but if it stays Missouri in here and Auburn in here, the Citrus Bowl will pick one of those 2 teams. Right now, my guess is the Citrus Bowl will take Auburn. That will leave Missouri, Kentucky, and Ole Miss in our mix for the pool of 5. So Outback, Gator, Music City, Houston, and Memphis. That'll be kind of the mix that we'll see selections from out of the SEC. On the other side, Clemson, Notre Dame, I think they'll both play in. That's going to leave North Carolina to fill the slot in the Orange Bowl. And that's going to leave Miami and North Carolina State for one of 2 bowls, the Cheez-It Bowl in Orlando or the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl here in Jacksonville. So one of those 2 teams will be the ACC representative in our game this year. It looks like right now, if you come over here on the projections of the games, it looks like Georgia may fill the Peach Bowl. Looks like Florida may fill either the Orange Bowl or the Cotton Bowl. Obviously the Final 4, here Rose Bowl, All-State Sugar Bowl, there's some issues about the Rose Bowl. So that's yet to be determined. They'll continue to be talking about that. They're going to have to make a decision sooner rather than later, probably within the next 10 days. So watch for that. That's the big curveball. The Rose Bowl being in Southern California with all the COVID problems that they're having in Southern California, and Governor Newsom, I think we're not really sure if that game's going to take place in the Rose Bowl or not. So that's what we've got going on. There's a lot of good information that will be attached to this email, and there's a lot of opportunities to do some really good things with charity. We're having a charity raffle, and if you'd like to participate, today is the last day. So let us know, go to our website, and I hope you have a great week, and I look forward to talking to you next week, which will primarily announce the teams and to wish you a Merry Christmas. Okay, take care, guys.
Hey guys, I'm Kayla. I'm the Marketing and Charities Manager for the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl. Today for Pick'em, we're going to do something a little bit different, and I'm just going to pop into all of the staff's offices, give them a championship game, and see who they choose as the winner. So let's go. All right, Rick. ACC Championship, Clemson, Notre Dame. Who you got?
Kayla, I think I'm going to take Clemson.
Katie, American Conference, Tulsa, Cincinnati. Who you got?
Cincinnati.
Robert, Big 12 Championship, Oklahoma, Ohio State. Who you got?
Oklahoma, Ohio State.
Iowa State. You get it wrong every time.
That's okay. Well,
Robert, Big 12 Championship, Oklahoma versus Iowa State. Who you got?
Oklahoma.
All right, we're putting Jermaine to the test. He gets 2 games. Big 10 Championship, Northwestern versus Ohio State.
That's an easy one. Ohio State.
All right, and then we're going to move on to Conference USA, UAB versus Marshall.
Let's go Marshall by 3.
Terry, MAC Conference, Ball State versus Buffalo.
Well, it's going to be a good one. It's Ball State's final game with Buffalo, and they're playing at Buffalo, and Ball State is a 13-point underdog, so I got the Buffs to win big and cover.
Savannah, Mountain West Conference, Boise State versus San Jose State. Who you got?
Well, unlike Terry, I don't have so much commentary, so this is a total guess. So I'm going to go San Jose.
Okay, 2 of our staff members are not in the office today, so I'm just going to randomly Teams call them. Hopefully they'll answer, and we're going to put them to the test too. There you are. Hi.
Hi.
Pac-12 game, Oregon versus USC. Who do you think's going to win?
USC for sure.
Thanks. Hello. Okay.
Hey, I look like down that part.
It's fine. SEC Conference, Alabama versus Florida. Who you got?
I got Alabama beating Florida.
And then the Sun Belt, Louisiana at 19 versus Coastal Carolina ranked 12th.
I'll take Coastal Carolina to finish the season undefeated.
Perfect. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.